Good morning everyone and welcome to today's maths lesson. Today sees the sixth lesson of 9.06 on the topic of ratio, and the learning objective is to know how to find the total amount shared in a ratio. So shown on the board you have 6 questions. This is your knowledge retrieval. Please pause the video here for 10 minutes and work through these 6 questions. We'll go through the answers afterwards, so please have a green pen ready. Pause the video now please. Okay, and time for answers. So, 6 answers on the board. Please mark in green pen and then be ready to move on to the next I do and we do. So pause the video here while you mark these answers. Okay, so for the first I do and we do, and looking towards the first I do, I'm going to go through this. So, it says the ratio of bikes to cars in a parking lot is in the ratio 7 to 11. So 7 parts bikes, 11 parts cars. If there are 28 more cars than bikes, find the total number of cars and bikes in the parking lot. So look at the information we know. We know they're in the ratio bikes 7 parts, cars 11 parts. So if there are 28 more cars than bikes, first step is to work out the difference between these two. So 11 take away 7 equals 4 parts. Therefore, we know 4 parts of the ratio equal 28 cars. Okay? Cars has 4 more parts of the ratio, 28 more cars, so 4 parts must be 28. If you divide 28 by 4, that gives you 7. That equals 1 part. So 1 part equals 7, 4 parts equals 28. Now we need to work out 7 parts and 11 parts. So if we do 7 times 7 for 49 and 11 times 7 for 77. So there's 49 bikes, there's 77 cars, and if we add those two together we get 126. So the total number of cars and bikes in the parking lot is 126. Please pause the video here and then work through the we do. Copy down the I do, work through the we do. We'll go through the answer in a moment. Okay, so ratio of bikes to cars in a parking lot is in the ratio 4 to 11 this time. So there are 28 more cars than bikes. There are 7 more parts of the ratio. 11 take away 7. So the difference in the parts of the ratio is 7. That equates to 28 cars, so 7 parts is 28 cars. Therefore, 1 part is 28 divided by 7, which equals 4. Now we need to work out how many bikes there are and how many cars there are. So we do 4 times 4 for 16 bikes and 11 times 4 for 44 cars. So there are, that shouldn't say 28, that should say there are 16 bikes and there are 44 cars. So it equals to 60. Okay, ignore this 28 here, that should be 16. Please be ready to move on to the next example. Okay, so for the next one, we've got a 3-part ratio this time. It says the ratio of bikes to cars to vans in a parking lot is in the ratio of 4 to 7 to 11. If there are 21 more cars than bikes, find the total number of cars and bikes and vans in the parking lot. So first of all, let's read the question properly and see which part of the ratio corresponds to which item. So 4 corresponds to bikes, 7 corresponds to the cars, and 11 corresponds to the vans. Bikes to cars to vans, 4, 7, 11. It says there are 21 more cars than bikes. So bikes is 4 parts, cars is 7 parts. So the difference between those two, 7 take away 4, 3 parts, must be equal to the difference in the number of items, which is 21. So 3 parts equals 21. Now let's find 1 part by doing 21 divided by 3 to get 7. 1 part is 7. So we need to work out what 4 parts are worth, what 7 parts are worth, and what 11 parts are worth. So 1 part is 7, 4 parts is 4 times 7, 7 parts is 7 times 7, and 11 parts is 11 times 7. So you get 28 bikes, 49 cars, and 77 vans. Adding those all up, we get a total of 150 cars, bikes, and vans. So the important part here is that you read in the question, you're seeing which part of the ratio corresponds to which vehicle, and then finding the difference between the relevant two. Okay, pause the video here, copy down the I do, and then try the we do for yourselves. Okay, so ratio of bikes to cars to vans in a parking lot is 4 to 5 to 11. So 4 to bikes, 5 to cars, 11 to vans. It says there are 24 more vans than cars. Well, vans is the 11 part, cars is the 5 part. So the difference between those two, 6 parts, 11 take away 5 gives 6. 6 parts must equate to the difference in the number of vehicles, which is 24. So 6 parts is 24. The difference in the ratio equals the difference in the vehicles. 6 parts is 24, so 1 part is 24 divided by 6, which is 4, and then multiplying that by each step of the ratio. So we get 16 bikes, 20 cars, and 44 vans. Adding those together, there's 80 vehicles in total. Really well done if you got that right. Please be marking these in green pen, and if you're making any mistakes or if you're struggling, just make sure you've got it copied down, please. Okay, so very last example, it says Sally and Taki mixed blue and white paint in the ratio 3 to 10 to paint a wall. If Taki used 350ml more white paint than blue paint, then find the amount of white paint used. Okay, so blue to white is 3 to 10, the 3 being the blue, the 10 being the white. We know Taki used 350ml more white paint than blue. So the difference in the ratio, 10 take away 3, gives 7 parts, must equal the difference in the amount of paint. So 7 parts is equal to 350 millilitres. Find 1 part by doing 350 divided by 7 to get 50. So 1 part equals 50, 7 parts equals 350. Now multiply 1 part by 3 and 1 part by 10. So 1 part is 50. So 3 times 50 gives 150 mil. 10 times 50 gives 500 mil. Let's remember to answer the question. It says find the amount of white paint used. White was the 10 part of the ratio, so the answer is right here, 500 mil. Pause the video there, copy that down, and then try the we do. Okay, so for the next one, it's again Sally and Taki mixing blue and white paint, this time in the ratio 5 to 10. So Taki used 350ml more white paint than blue paint. So again, work out the difference in the ratio. 10 take away 5 gives 5. So 5 parts equates to the difference in the amount of paint. 5 parts equals 350ml. That's where we get this part from. Find 1 part by doing 350 divided by 5, which is 70. So 1 part is worth 70 millilitres. We need to find the amount of white paint used. So we're looking at this part. 10 times 70, which gives 700 ml. So there is 700 ml of white paint. Please mark that in green pen, and you're doing really, really well if you got that right, because these are some tough questions, to be honest. Okay, so shown on the screen, you have 6 questions. Pause the video here for as long as you need and work through these 6 questions. We'll mark the answers afterwards. Please pause the video now. And answers to the first 4 parts are on the screen. Please mark in green pen and make any corrections where necessary. Pause the video now so you can mark. Okay, and finally 5 and 6, and again I'll be really, really impressed if people are getting these right, because these are tough questions. So really well done if you did get question 5 or question 6 correct. Make sure to pause the video here while you mark those answers in green pen. Thank you for listening today, and I'll see you again in the next lesson. Goodbye.